Want to know what to feed bluebirds? Once on the decline, they are now thriving. I'll show you what foods they love, feeders to avoid, where these bluebirds live in North America, and how to build them a nest box they'll love. There are 3 versions of bluebirds: Western, Eastern, and Mountain. In each case, the males and females look slightly different, with the males having the deeper blue that catches people's eyes. Bluebirds are not skittish, and you can gain their trust by providing food. This female eastern bluebird became so accustomed to me refilling the feeders that she would grab her food only an arm's length away. To keep bluebirds coming back to your place, consider offering them their favorite foods. Number 4, sunflower seeds. It's almost hard to believe, but bluebirds will eat whole sunflower seeds, as this video shows. They were even eating it when their other favorite foods were in stock. Number 3, berries. Bluebirds will eat various types of berries. An easy berry to offer at feeders is blueberries, but also planting trees and bushes that grow, black cherries, juniper berries, cedar berries, red mulberries, blackberries, and of course, blueberries might help attract them to your area. Number 2, suet. Bluebirds in my area love suet. They prefer suet nuggets with a peanut flavor, although some will try other flavors, such as blueberry and orange. You might even catch them feeding their offspring these tasty treats. Number 1, mealworms. This should come as no surprise that they love mealworms. These worms are actually beetle larvae and can be purchased live or dried. The dried version is easier to stock at bird feeders, but live ones are better food for nestling bluebirds. Other birds love mealworms too, so don't be surprised if they are eaten quickly by other birds if bluebirds are not checking your feeders frequently. In addition to mealworms, bluebirds will also catch and eat caterpillars, flying insects, earthworms, beetles, crickets, and grasshoppers. Consider not using pesticides on lawns, as they can suppress these natural food sources. Don't forget to offer them clean water to drink. The bird bath or water cup can be on the ground or in the air. Consider using a heated bath in the winter if you live where the temperature drops below freezing. When stocked with their favorite foods, most feeders are welcoming to bluebirds. This includes open trays, hoppers, clingers only, cups, and special mealworm feeders. This was the bluebird's least favorite feeder. It's meant to resemble a nest box with food inside, but bluebirds and others would struggle to exit the box and would sometimes need help. This chickadee got out just before I opened the roof. Bluebirds raise at least 2 broods per year, sometimes even 3. Females lay 2 to 7 eggs, and the babies will fledge around 3 weeks later. The offspring from the first brood sometimes helps the parents feed the second brood. Bluebirds face challenges when it comes to nesting sites. Eastern populations declined by 90% by the early to mid-20th century due to competition from non-native birds for nesting sites, removal of dead trees, wooden fence posts, and pesticides. These birds traditionally use cavities in trees left over from other birds, but have adapted to nest in human-made boxes over the past several decades. You can buy a pre-built house or make one yourself. I'm building one here from plans on the North American Bluebird Society website, which is linked in the description. Start by marking a board that is 5.5 inches wide and at least 6 feet long. Cedar and redwood are the best woods to use. The floor panel is the first one marked. Next is one of the side panels. The top edge will have a 70-degree angle to the cut. This board is rough on one side, so I will make a minor change from the plan sheet and mark another 70-degree line going in the other direction for the next panel. You'll see why after the board is cut. I'm also marking the width of the blade of my table saw. The next 2 panels are for the front and the back of the box. The roof called for a 12-inch wide board. 12-inch wide boards were out of stock, so I used a 10-inch board instead. I'm using a table saw and a crosscut sled to cut the boards, but you can also cut them using a portable circular saw or hand saw. Cutting the main board with this setup took less than 10 minutes. After cutting out the side panels, it was time to cut the 70-degree angle cut on the top edge. By cutting them this way, the rough side on both panels will be on the inside of the box when assembled. The actual thickness of these boards is usually 3/4 of an inch, but this one was thicker. This meant having to trim about 3/16 of an inch from the floor panel to make it fit. In case water gets inside the box, the corners of the floor panel should be trimmed. I'm taking off about 3/8 of an inch. While dry fitting the panels together, I noticed the roof was not sitting on the side panels, so a 20-degree cut was needed for the top edge of the front panel. Also for the front panel, an entry hole needs to be drilled. I marked the center of the hole 2.5 inches from the top edge. Hole sizes for each bluebird species are displayed on screen. Using a hole saw bit, I begin cutting a hole and flipping the board over before finishing the cut, which prevents splintering. It's recommended that shallow grooves be cut below the entry hole on the inside of the front panel. This can help nestling birds escape when it's time to fledge. I'm setting the blade height at about 1/8 of an inch and making 4 cuts at 1 inch apart. This bluebird nest box will need vent holes drilled towards the top of the side panels. These are 1/2 inch diameter holes drilled at an upward angle from the outside, about 1 inch from the top edge. A Forstner bit worked better for me than a regular drill bit, but your mileage may vary. When the bluebird house panels are cut and drilled, this is how they will look. It's a good idea to install a protector plate over the entry hole. This one is 4 inches wide and 3.5 inches tall, with a hole size matching the entry hole. Make sure to sand smooth the entry hole if any rough edges exist. Stainless steel wood screws were used to assemble the bluebird house. Don't install a perch below the entrance hole. Bluebirds don't need one. A perch actually makes it easier for house sparrows to enter the box. The floor is recessed 3/4 of an inch to keep rainwater from wicking upward. The sanded side is facing up, which should make it easier to clean the floor when needed. Clamp the panels together. Mark the location for the screws on the front and back panels. The left panel will be the door and requires 3 screws. The lower screw keeps it closed while the upper screws act as a hinge pin. Remove the lower screw to open the door. You can also use a duplex nail instead of a screw to keep the door closed. Make sure to transfer the location for the second hinge screw exactly to the back panel. The right panel is fixed and requires 4 screws. Before attaching the roof, you might want to consider adding these grooves to the underside of the roof panel. They will break the surface tension of water that might otherwise run into the box. After centering the roof panel, I tapped several nails to keep it centered before flipping it right side up. Make sure to drill straight down, going into the front and back panel only. To finish the roof install, clear silicone caulk was added to the back where the roof meets the back panel. I'm installing this bluebird nest box on 1 1/2 inch EMT conduit within 4 to 6 feet above ground. The box should be protected against predators, such as installing this baffle. The entry hole is facing east, which is facing away from the prevailing wind in this area. Don't be surprised if other native birds move into this box, including chickadees, nuthatches, titmice, wrens, or swallows. If you have a large property, you can create a bluebird nest box trail. Nest boxes should be placed at least 100 yards apart for western and eastern bluebirds, at least 200 yards apart for the mounted version. Open areas with scattered trees and maintained grasslands are good areas for nest boxes. Boxes for other birds can be placed between the bluebird houses. These boxes should be monitored during breeding season to make sure non-native house sparrows do not take over. Let's hear your experiences with bluebirds. Have you seen them eat something not on the list from this video? Are they nesting in boxes you put out? Make sure to comment down below. Also, if you want to see more bluebird videos, check out the one in the upper right corner.